I feel like Sani was like kind of clear-cut 11. Then we get to the other slightly tricky part, 10th to 8th seed. I decided to go with Axe for number 10. If you look at Axe's tournament results this year, he places minimum 9th at every tournament except for DreamHack Austin, where he loses to Android in pools. Good shit, Android Alliance. And then also loses to SFAT. SFAT has actually been one of his main roadblocks this season. Which is pretty funny because SFAT and Axe is kind of like ranked pretty close to each other. And Axe have had a hard time against SFAT overall. Here's also when we start getting more like wins against the top 6. So I feel like that's what separates these players. That's like Axe and the up-and-coming players, like the players ranked above Axe as well. Because if we check, Axe at rivalries. So he beats Mango and Mewtwo King, which is really, really good wins. It's actually very rare to be 2 top 6 members and only place 5th. But he lost a really close set to Swedish the first round of the bracket, so he had to climb through a pretty rough loser bracket. 7th at the Super Major, 5th at both invitationals, multiple sets against top 6 members, and also finished like pretty strong with 7th at Smash and Splash. Not a Super Major, but still a really, really stacked tournament. Beating S2J, Lucky, Kels, and Laud. So some pretty good wins. Losing to Duck, a player he has been going pretty even with this season, and losing to Laffen. Laffen has actually been a really tough opponent for Axe. Laffen has completely dominated him, so that's also a person Axe needs to study up on in the future. And yeah, then finish off with a very strong 3rd place at CEO, beating Colbol, Swedish, Shroomed, and Kaon, and then losing a close set to HBox and losing 1 set to Plup. Looking at the data, I feel like Axe have had a pretty strong year. So I feel like he clearly deserves a top 10 placement, arguably even as high as 8th actually. But I decided to go with 10 because I feel like the next 2 players have slightly stronger arguments. Wizzy is number 9th. Wizzy also a player that's been climbing a bit from 12th to 9th, so that's pretty good. The higher you start placing and stuff, the harder it becomes to keep climbing. Each spot gets even trickier. He has overall like pretty good placements and few bad losses. He loses to Mango and Chudat, both in the top 10 obviously, since neither of these players have been ranked on this list. He have a few tournaments without any like attendance, but his 2nd place at Smash Rivalries, that alone I would say puts him up here in the top 10 like without debate. So he takes 1 set from Hungerbox. Hungerbox rarely ever dropping sets against non-top 6 members, so that's a huge win. And beats Drugged Fox, Chudat, and Mewtwo King 3-0. That's crazy. How many players can you like say are gonna beat Mewtwo King, Drugged Fox, and Chudat 3-0 just like that? So that's a really good run from Wizzy. One of the few non-top 6 members to ever make it to grand finals when like 3 or 4 top 6 members have been in attendance. Having 2 DQs. Royal Flushing never showed up to in the first place. CEO Dreamlab, not really sure what that was about. But overall, still like very good placements at the rest of the tournament he actually does attend. 5th at DreamHack Austin. Another clutch win against SFAT. That's actually pretty funny. Like Wizrobe have had quite a few important set wins against SFAT. That's been carrying him to like great runs in different tournaments. Like here as well, beating SVAT. I believe that was to qualify for top 8. Could be wrong. Then losing to West Bolts and Plup. That's probably among the toughest brackets you can get as a Falcon player. West Bolts and Plup. Like, at the very least, if you, like, do not count the top 5. But even if you do count top 5, for a lot of Falcon players, I would say Plup is probably the hardest player to beat. And West Bolts is up there, having a good record against every Falcon on the planet. And then finishing off with a 5th place at CEO. Losing 2 close sets against Plup and Colball. Colball has been doing pretty bad this season, but he tends to do pretty well against Falcon and against Wizzy specifically. And they've been in the same region for so many years, so not really too surprising. But overall, like 5th place, 7th, 5th, 2nd. Really good year. But yeah, let's check some head-to-head stats as well. So, negative score against everyone in the top 6, but he had 2 wins against HBox and 1 win against Mewtwo King, and up 3-0 against SVAT. So that's a good score. Down 0-1 against West Bolts, then he's positive against Swedish, he's positive against Duck, then Moon, tied with Chudat, 4-0 against Drugged Fox, and as we said, Falcon weakness for Sammy that he needs to work on. Down against Colball, his fellow local Florida player. The rest is positive, so pretty good for Wizrobe. Axe and Wizzy 3 wins each against the top 5, so pretty strong overall. 8th place for this season is gonna be SVAT. It's been quite a few up and downs when it comes to SVAT, I feel like. Mainly his worst tournament was Royal Flush 17th, getting 3-0'd by Cactuar and losing to Lucky, and didn't really get a single very impressive win at that tournament. But outside of that, it's also been like a lot of good performances from him, mainly CEO Dreamland with a 2nd place, taking a set of Mewtwo King and beating HBox as well. As we said, very rare to beat HBox as a non-top 6. Smash Rivalries, another strong tournament from him, beating Axe, Swedish, the Moon, and then dropping to HBox and Drugged Fox. Full Bloom at 3rd place, also a strong tournament. Axe, Drugged Fox, West Bowls, Leffens Marth, Prince Abu, Eichelman, and New York Joey. But overall, like, yeah, it's a bunch of good tournaments in here. Don't Park on the Grass, 4th place. Wait, why does it... It says he's losing against himself here. Losing to SVAT. He's losing to West Bulls there. But yeah, also good tournament. Making the 4-star comeback against PPU, if I remember correctly. 3rd place is Eden. Didn't beat anyone ranked above him, but like he was the highest ranked player going into the tournament, so I guess that was like impossible. Losing Fox Dittos. Fox Dittos actually seems to be also like one of the things SVAT needs to work on. Quite a few Foxes have been giving him a run for his money this year. Now Beast also was a bad tournament for him. He do beat Android and Slim Shady, but losing to Moon and Slox. Maybe not the worst kind of losses, but not making it to top 8. Obviously very disappointing. He was seeded 3rd going into the tournament, so not making top 8 was a huge disappointment. Genesis beating Swedish, Shroom, MacD, Sane, and SK92. Losing to Axe and West Bulls. So pretty good wins, not too bad losses by any means. But yeah, SVAT has been a little bit of a roller coaster, I want to say. But clearly more up and downs than downs. And this one also gets tricky. Number 7th and number 6. I feel like you can make both an argument for both Plup and Chudat. It's kind of like the Mango Mewtwo King argument as well. Like, I guess a little bit of peak versus consistency. But in this case, I place Chewdet. That's number 7th. Chewdet, a fantastic year so far. He's climbed even more than Drugfox actually now when I look at it, since Chewdet was ranked 22nd. So yeah, this is the biggest jump actually. And Drugfox had his second best. This pretty much only been good performances outside of Royal Flush. Royal Flush where he loses to Shroomed 0-3 and losing to Crush. Not really sure what happened to him this tournament. Maybe he got like a little bit too confident or something after Dreamic Austin, which was a really good tournament, beating Mewtwo King, Mango, My Case, Android, and Santi. And then losing twice to HBox, but taking him to Game 5 in Grands. So that was a fantastic performance from Chewdet. But yeah, Royal Flush, the only really like bad performance here. It's not even that bad, to be honest. Crush is notorious for being an Icy Slayer, and Shroomed, he was still ranked 14th on this list. So if losing to Shroomed is one of your worst losses, pretty much, on like big ass tournaments, then you have done very good. The thing that's also like really like with the fact that Chewdet is placing higher is that he almost did not make it to Summit in the first place, and I feel like Chewdet proves the importance for a lot of people to make it into Summit. Summit is a huge opportunity for a lot of people to get to practice against really good players. Not everyone is like living in a very good region, so getting a chance to practice against that, like literally 15 other of the best smashers in the world for like 5 days, or maybe even more if you fly in early. Genesis 4 as well, first Super Major of the year. Really good tournament, beating Wizrobe, Crush, Shroomed. As we said, Crush notorious for being an Icy Slayer, but this time Chewdet beat him, beating Shroomed, Slox, and L. Losing to HBox and Leffen. HBox again in the Game 5. So yeah, a very good tournament overall. No bad losses. And overall, like, I think he had like some losses to like Smash God at like locals, but overall he has like some good set counts in here. Losing to me in HBox 0-3 each, but up against Mango 3-0, up against Mewtwo King 3-1. Then he's down against Leffen and Plop 0-1. Up against SFAT and Axe, so that's important. Tied with Shroomed and Wizrobe 1-1. Up against S2J. Down one set against Drugfox. Up against Prof, My Case, Kirby Kase, Tsu. And then yeah, he's tied with Crush, and he's down against Smash God from locals. So yeah, now he basically have like no really bad records. Taking a lot of sets against the Big Six, few losses against players ranked below him. So really, really solid year. I feel like you can make an argument for Chewdet as number 6. So either 6th or 7th, but I personally decided to give Plop the benefit of the doubt. It kind of is a consistency versus peak argument, I guess. Chewdet have had a bit of higher peaks, while Plop had a bit more of a consistency. Overall this year, we will see like a lot of 5th placements from Plop. 5th, 5th, 5th. Yeah, it's 5th of every tournament here. Yeah. Yeah, we can see 5th there at Genesis, 5th at Smash Summit, 5th at CEO Dreamland, 5th at Dreamic Austin, and 5th at Smash and Splash. And then he finished off with a 2nd at CEO. So yeah, a lot of 5th placements. Not really too much to say actually. He pretty much beats everyone ranked below him every time, with very few exceptions, and very few exceptions when he beats players ranked above him. Yeah, he has 2 set wins against HBox, 1 at CEO, and then it's like Yeah, he's a local as well. So yeah, no, HBox brings his record overall down by a lot. But as of that, he's tied with Leffen. He's up against Mango. So yeah, it's mainly HBox and Mutual King, his fellow Florida smashers, that he has had a hard time against. But other than that, like, pretty much only positive scores. Shroom being the exception. Losing twice at Smash and Splash. He's having a loss against Swedish, but he played Luigi, so yes, that not something we should value high at all. And then it's only positive scores, I'm pretty sure. 16-0 against Cobalt. Damn, these guys play a lot. 5-0 against Gatsu. I saw a Saint loss. I was like, wait, no, that was last season. I was like, oh, Leffen. Sorry, Leffen. But yeah, overall, I don't feel like it's too much to say about Plop. He has been extremely consistent. Rarely takes set against people ranked above him. Rarely drops sets to people below him. So he's been probably the easiest to predict this year so far in terms of tournaments. But it's going to be interesting to see what he can do. I wonder how his mentality is at the moment, because he has been ranked around here for like quite a while now. So, and now he's starting to play like more secondaries in tournament. But Evo is coming up, and he have had 2 good Evo placements in the past 2 years. So it's going to be interesting to see if he can bring that out.